Hi, it's Lori from Color My World, and you're getting another voice video this week instead of a drawing demonstration because my friend Celeste, the Eclectic Domestic, and there she is up on the screen, had a question from me, and it ties into last week's question about how to color roses and water droplets. So she sent me a photo of what she has done, and I'm going to make a little tweak on it. I'll see you in a minute. So I pulled up Celeste's picture, and I must say, for a newbie, she did an excellent job. She wants to be able to bring it to the next level. She doesn't know where she's going wrong on it. And I understand what she's trying to tell me. And we're going to fix it very easy. And this is such a newbie mistake that she's going to just pop herself in the head and say, oh my God, you're right. So I'm going to use my pointer just to point out different areas. Let me see if I can get it to show up. There it is. Okay. So she did a wonderful job picking colors. It's nice and bright, beautiful color combinations. I love the way she, she's trying to give it like the end of the season type of, the flowers are about to, start fading. Very this time of year. And as I said, I give her all the props. She did very good. But I know something about Celeste. She's got 150 colors sitting right in front of her. Brand new Prismacolors. And she went for the big box. So I'm going to point out some things to her. And let's get it rolling. So I'm going to talk directly to her. Celeste, we're going to start from one side and work our way down. Now, up here, I'm going to show you what you didn't do. I can see the page. This is telling me in a lot of these areas, if you can see where the cursor is, there's only one layer of color. No. We need more. One layer is never enough. What you're doing, actually, if you want to put it, is she's a Southern Belle. And I will tell you, she's eating the cupcake and throwing away the frosting. This is the point in time where your picture gets to be fun. This isn't the point of time that your picture is finished. What I would do on this picture is I would get out that box of 150s, look at your blues, and add in some other shades of blue. Now, I could tell that you may have gone a little heavier with your pencil over here. And in fact, I've seen on this picture you went heavier with the same color in a lot of places. And what you're doing, and this was told to me when I was in art school, and it really stuck by me. You're creating a what they call a pearl necklace. See how your shading just goes around the edges. Now, nowhere in nature does light strike where here and here with a stripe in the middle going through. What you need to do is break out some of those beautiful gray colors that you've got, your shadow colors. I would go with like the cool grays. And take a look and shade up some of this. Now, the good thing about the grays is the grades will tint. And because it's black, basically black with a little bit white in it. So whatever you're going to use the black on, it's going to just tint it. So you don't have to worry about it changing the real color of the purple. It'll just darken the purple. So get out like a 20%. You could start with a 20% gray, cool gray, or even go up to like a 50%. Under here, I'd even go to a 70% and shadow in everywhere. You see how this overlaps this? There would be in nature a shadow going under here, and feather it, going very lightly, going down, so that the light, where it would be really dark over here, and as it comes out into where the real sunshine is, it would lighten up. Now, your cloud. This looks like a big splash of white. And while you might think that's what a cloud looks like in the sky, that's kind of like what it looks like to children. But if you go outside and you take a look at the sky, you're going to see there's always shadow in your clouds. So I would get those grays out again and lightly shadow. Use maybe a 20% in the cloud to break it up and make it look poof. This kind of to me looked like a water spot, like you were scrubbing the color off your page. So if you just keep on going, this is going to be fine. In here, it looks like it's missing color. So maybe if you shade in under here and then get a little of the grays going in the sky, very light if you want a bright sunny day that just has poofs of cloud, very light. Down here, this is all one layer. You can go to town in here and get some more richness. Now, notice how in here is very rich and the shading is really smooth. That's what you want to see. But you don't want it to become a ring around an area. Okay, and this is a coloring book. We're adults, we can color outside the lines. So don't worry so much about the detail colors. Fade that out a little bit more into the yellow. See, as I said, this picture is basically underdone. I think your the shading on these yellow leaves are excellent. I have no complaints. In your greens, well, here comes the family. You did the ring. We want to shade that more in there. Maybe over here put lighter, because this actually is a stem. And it would have the light hitting the stem. Okay? Now, on the inside of the flower. On the inside of the flower here, you have a highlight creating that stripe going along. Bring this color up more, because as you go into the flower, going deeper into the flower, it would get darker. More than likely, it would not have this bright splotch of white right there. You might have it closer to the edge. I would feather the color going up. Okay? Now, a little bit more on your bird. Your bird is really good if it was against green. See where you have this is the identical colors that you used in your bird. Darken this one up, because the bird is sitting in front of this leaf. This leaf would be in the distance and it would naturally be a little bit darker. I would do the same thing for this one. This one I think is really good. I wouldn't touch it. Down here on your cornflower, you got this hard line. Feather it a little bit more and soften it. You also have kind of the color variation going where this would be deeper into the flower. Right around this line, it would be a little bit darker. Same thing with here. You have this unnatural ring going around. I would lighten this up, and you can just go in and use a lighter shade. What's really fun with Prismacolors is when you take a light going over a dark, you do lighten it up. And then you get to that creamy consistency where everything starts to flow and blend. You are right there. Your next layer or two on here, you should be flowing really nicely. And as I said, basically what the problem on here was that you have inconsistent lighting and didn't finish it. This one has a lot of potential to be awesome. One other thing that I told some people that I tell everybody, my little trick when I'm teaching art is to take a piece of blue tape, painter's tape, stick it on your paper where you want your light source to be. So if you put it up here, right in this corner, you're always going to have a reminder that your sun is coming down from here. What would get the light if you just go like that? Okay, we've got the light would be coming in this way. You'd have light coming in over here. All down here is going underneath the bird. Darken it up. Okay, all under here. This will give it a much more rounded appearance. Now, the structure on the wing, if you look here, on a wing, it would sort of be a little bit rounded. Right underneath here would darken up a little bit. The beak is identical to your bird. I would change up the color, and remember the bottom part of the beak would always be a little bit darker. That would make your beak pop. The last part I'm looking at is right in here. Now, I'm going to be sending you in the mail Mushy Boo Boos and Isa so that you could study up on bird shading. She knows my birds have been a little bit obnoxious lately. They don't like their bird seed, and they've been tossing it at me for like weeks. So I think it's time for her to babysit. Well, in here you're going to shade because you have two wings that are coming together. Over here I would feather up into a little bit darker. And just because you wouldn't see by an eye, no matter what, when you're looking through something, this would be a little bit darker, just the way the mind perceives it. So as you can see, your mistakes were not terminal mistakes. Your picture is fine. It's just underdone. Keep on going. Now there's one last thing I know that you asked me a question on, and while I'm looking at this, I could see you tried. And I'm going to assume these are those water droplets you were talking about. Now, how you did it, these water droplets, I guess, would be pollen. But I know you were looking at how to do the water droplets. And you got to remember, these water droplets would be the same shade as the flower because you're looking straight into them. They wouldn't suddenly change drastic colors, even from a reflection. So I would have personally done all these water droplets in the same shade in here, but a little bit lighter because the light will reflect through the water and lighten up. You kind of got the shading right. I could see where you were going with the shading. on here, and that would be correct. But then I would add a highlight. I would probably use my white Sharpie or one of my other white pens that does highlighting and just get a light line going in here on all of these. But that's about all I would do. As I said, just, I don't know if I mentioned it before, just say I would lighten up this or completely darken it. And I don't see anything else. You did a really good job on this. Everything is fixable. As I said, I really like in here. I love your color combinations. That's about it. Just keep on going. And obviously my birds are now starting to talk to me, so I'm going to end this video, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.